Young shakes off the onions from herself, feeling flustered. Then Ren takes her out to pick up household items from the supermarket. He gets her a pair of slippers that fit her perfectly because his were too big for her feet. As they walk, they come across a pajama sale, so Ren decides to get them 2 sets. The next day, her father and Lion call to check on her and make sure she's okay. They learn that she's happy with her new job and decides to take a stroll in the city because she enjoys the nice weather. Later on, Lee finds out from the news report that the weather is terrible in the city where Young traveled. He realizes she lied to them. He goes looking for her but can't find her, so he decides to head to her location. He's upset that she lied to them. When he calls them, she understands his concern and explains that she hasn't told anyone in her family about working for him. They all sit down, and Lion tells him that he hasn't received treatment yet, and his condition might worsen. So he decides to stay with them until he's sure he's okay. Ren refuses, but Lion insists that they need to find out if he needs a psychiatrist now. After asking him a few questions, they realize he does need one. She convinces him to agree to treatment so he can improve. She knows he'll clean his room again after she does it. He agrees to a week of treatment to improve his condition. Ren starts training with Z, making him wash his hands a few times, but not as much as before. Young eats the food for the first time, and Ren graciously hands her the utensils first before taking some for himself. He wishes her bon appetit while holding his breath, as he always sterilizes the utensils first. But this time it's different because he wants her to stay with him. Afterwards, they find out that Saul is leaving and he gives her a gift. He asks her to have dinner together, and she agrees and goes with him. They see Huang sitting with them as an apology for the previous incident, but Ren refuses his presence and politely asks him to leave. Young doesn't say anything, which annoys Huang even more. Later, Ren receives a call that his grandmother is unwell, so he rushes to her side. Young offers to go with him, and when she does, she notices his care for his sick grandmother, which makes her admire him even more. At the company, her mother tells Ren that she sees him improving. She notices he doesn't need to dry anything anymore, but he lies and tells her that his psychiatrist said he needs to train with her. She asks him if he'll let her go after his training or if he'll keep her with him. He looks at her, unsure of how to respond. Back at his place, she stares at a picture of a cake, and he enters, asking her if she likes that type. She realizes it's the kind his mother used to make for her, and she hasn't had it since she passed away. He quickly goes to buy one for her, and she thanks him, reminiscing about her memories with her mother. She starts crying in her room, and he rushes to her without sterilizing himself like he always does, and he hugs her, asking her what's wrong. She tells him she misses her mother, and he tries to comfort her. Meanwhile, she's playing music, and John enters, greeting her warmly. He sits down too, and she tells him that if he thinks he's bothering her, he should stop. He tells her that he didn't mean to bother her, but he really loves her. She angrily tells him that she doesn't need a man to rely on and feel safe with like a child. She kicks him out of her house. When Rand sees them together, he walks away, leaving them, feeling sad because he senses that Young also loves Ron. Young feels tense being close to Rand and gets up, leaving him. However, he follows her and confesses his love to her. She goes to her room, feeling happy that he confessed because she also loves him. The next day, he sends a message to Ron that his training is over and he will soon be fine. Ron is happy and starts looking for information about relationships to help him with Young. Later, he prepares for a work trip and packs his bag. Maybe she can help. While at home, he watches Sal's live broadcast, where she confesses that she and Ran are just friends and she loves someone else, waiting for him to confess. He decides to go and confess to her, but when he arrives, the police arrest him. She waits for him, annoyed when he's late. We learn that the police arrested him because Huang filed a report of assault against him and took advantage of his previous criminal record. He calls Ran and tells him he can't travel with him and hangs up. So Young suggests she go with him instead, and of course he agrees. They actually travel together, talking and playing music. When they stop for a break, they eat together, and Young takes care of him, trying to help him manage his illness. After finishing his work, they realize they're late and can't travel, so they decide to stay in a hotel and leave in the morning. They go to their respective rooms. When he enters, he starts cleaning and sterilizing, but still feels uncomfortable. He calls housekeeping and asks them to change his room, but they refuse. Young comes and takes him to her room, which she has prepared for him, cleaned and brought his usual bedsheet for him to sleep on. He is happy with her attention and suggests they watch a movie together. They sit together and watch a horror movie, and he sits next to her, feeling scared. She takes advantage of this and jokes with him, scaring him even more. The next day, they wake up and have breakfast together. Afterward, he gives her a t-shirt similar to his so they can match. She takes it and happily goes to put it on. They decide to go out for a walk before leaving. After they finish and return, Ran receives a call and learns that Kim is at the police station. So he goes to her house first. They find that she has changed the passcode to her house to her birthday. When they enter, they find her mother there, who asks them if they are in a relationship. They deny it, and she leaves them alone. Kim asks him not to tell anyone about their relationship yet. Her mother enters again because she forgot her bag and sees them close to each other. She realizes they are in a relationship and doesn't object. She is happy for them. Then he goes to meet Huang and asks him to withdraw the complaint, but Huang refuses and threatens Ran. When Kim's mother goes to Ron's house, her father shows her pictures of him with Young. She gets upset and tells her father to leave her son and his girlfriend alone and that she doesn't object to their relationship. She also tells him not to treat her son the way he treated her. But her father doesn't listen and goes to Ron's house, scolding him for loving Young because she is just a maid to him. Also, her family's status is not up to their standards. But Ron tells him that he doesn't care about all of that and that he loves her. So her grandfather leaves, upset with him, and Ran sits there, feeling sad. Then Young comes to comfort him, but he tells her he wants to be alone. He goes to his room and leaves her. She also goes to her room. She receives a message from her brother that their father is not feeling well. So she writes a note and sticks it to his room's door, then goes to her house and finds her father with a broken leg. She cleans the house and prepares food, letting her father rest in his room. She spends the day with him to take care of him. At the same time, Ron goes with the lawyer to meet Huang and try to convince him to drop the charges, but Huang refuses. The next day, Young meets her former manager at the company, who tells her about Ron and his grandfather. He explains that their relationship was not good, and that his grandfather was very strict with him, making him attend all his classes and take extra courses, not allowing him to rest. When she returns home, she finds Ren waiting for her with a bouquet of flowers, apologizing to her in his own way. She tells him that when he's sad or happy, he must share it with her so she can stand by his side. The next day, he allows her to return to the company and reinstates all the employees who worked in her department. Everyone is happy with this decision. After a while, Young goes to his office and begs him not to tell anyone about their relationship. He refuses at first, but he eventually agrees for her sake. The next day, Ran is released from custody, and he sees Young waiting for him. He remembers all their memories together, runs to her, hugs her, and she cries in his arms. He tells her that he never gave up on her and that he wanted to go to her, but the police arrested him. John goes to the company where she works, and when she sees him, she wants to return to her office. But he stops her and apologizes for his actions, asking for another chance. She agrees, and he hugs her, overjoyed. After a few days, he decides to take Young on their first date, and she is surprised to find him taking her to the gym, saying he will teach her self-defense. She agrees. Ren also takes Young to the amusement park, and they spend a wonderful time together. Young asks him to play a certain game to win her a teddy bear as a gift. He tells her he will go to the bathroom and come back. When he leaves, he sits down and washes his hands with water and sanitizer, feeling sad because he can't overcome his illness. At the gym, Kim trains her, and a girl takes a picture of them, revealing her admiration for Ran. The others at the gym start gossiping about her, so Kim removes her from them. After Ren finishes, he sits with her, and she notices his red hands, telling him not to rub them anymore. He apologizes because he can't continue the day. She tells him she had a great time with him. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and check out our other selection of recaps. Take care.